I'll turn it over to our next coach, and that's the head coach of the 23rd ranked Liberty Flames, Turner Gill. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
First off, congratulations on the victory over Bryant to move up in the polls and move to 3-1 on the year. Heading back out on the road after 2 weeks at home to travel to Indiana State. First, let's open up with the victory over Bryant and give us your thoughts on that. And then we'll talk about the Sycamores.
The Bryant football team, they are a good football team. They definitely play pretty good defense there, and they got off to a good start on my first drive, and our best players there, Jacob Hagan, made a great play on an interception there and made a great deal on that, and that came back to help us. And then he had also caused a fumble and had a bunch of tackles, so he played extremely well for us. Offensively, we played really well there, really throughout the ball game. I think we scored on our first 3 or 4 drives there, and then we had our field goal kicker there, John Lunsford, kicking a 57-yard field goal to get our first points on the board, and so it's good to see him back and then being able to kick the field goal and all that. Then we kind of struggled a little bit there in the second quarter. Had a couple of situations on the special teams that they scored 14 points. It kind of made it a little bit of a tight game. And then eventually there in the second half, we were able to put a couple more touchdowns together. So a well-played game by both sides. Again, I know they're going to win quite a few ball games as they continue to play the rest of their season with Bryant. Going into this next ball game against Indiana State, we got to go on the road. And so we've been kind of okay playing on the road in the 2.5 years I've been here, and so it's going to be a great challenge for us. Indiana State beat Ball State at Ball State, and so I'm beating an FBS team, and so you know that they got a good football team, and they're definitely much improved from last year. You look at their record from last year and compared to this year, there's no doubt on tape that they have definitely improved, and Mike Sanford, their head football coach, is doing a very good job, and has only been there now going on his second year into their system. So we'll have to go out and travel and find a way to win the game.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. At this time, we'll take questions for Liberty head coach Turner Gill. To ask a question, please press *1 on your phone or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click raise hand if you join us via the web. Questions for Liberty head coach Turner Gill. Coach, I'll lead off with a couple. First, you mentioned John Lunsford with the 57-yarder, both the Big South and school record. Understood it was after a 52-yarder before a penalty that moved him back. Just talk about his range, and was there any consideration of not going for it on the 57-yarder after the penalty?
No, I guess it was no wind, and so I guess we kind of have really probably a 60-yard range for him of anything under 60. Obviously, I guess if there's a little wind, you might go a little further, but if it's just like it was the night he kicked it, we were thinking 60 yards in the end he'll have a shot at it. So, he made the 52-yard, and I guess he got warmed up there and was able to make the 57-yard too.
Talk about Jacob Hagan a little bit more. Buck Buchanan Award candidate this week's Player of the Week. A nice game for you all over the field for what has been pretty much a typical Jacob Hagan effort all season. Just kind of what he brings to your defense.
Well, as every coach, you look on offense, defense, special teams. Do you have anyone on your team that can make a play and be a difference maker and they be a playmaker? All the different terms that we use as a guy that the ball's within the vicinity or somebody needs to make a play. He's that guy on our football team, and particularly obviously on the defensive side. He's able to do it all, be physical in his hits, and he can tackle well, and balls all within his area from sideline to sideline. He has great range, and then he has great ball skills. He's almost like a receiver out there because he has very good hands, and he understands the game. He's a very good teacher of the game, even to guys that are on the field, and he's kind of our quarterback captain, so to speak, on the defensive side of the ball, and he can line up everybody from the defensive line all the way to linebackers and complete secondary.
Now focusing more on Indiana State, the Big South's first appearance against the Sycamores, kind of like last week with Bryant. Just what more can you tell us about this team? And I know you mentioned that they're kind of a younger coaching staff, only been in there 2 years, but what have you seen that's from their style of play?
Well, they play hard, and they get after you there on defense. Play well together as a group. Nobody's really out of place on their defensive schemes. That means they know that they do a great job at teaching, and their players are actually being teachable and follow through on what needs to be getting done on the field. Offensively, they're a multiple offense. They do have a very good quarterback. I think he's sixth in the nation in total offense yards. The thing that really has stood out also is that they have not had any turnover in the 3 ball games that they played. So that's a big zero egg. I had to triple look at that stat to make sure that was correct. But yeah, they have not had any turnovers. They've actually caused 7 turnovers. So they're a good football team, and we got to play extremely well.
And my last question for you, it will be the furthest road trip for you this season. So what's the itinerary going to be later this week?
Well, we'll fly out here. I think we're right around 1 o'clock or so, leaving here, and I think it's only about an hour and a half flight, so it's not too bad of a flight for us getting there and all that. And we'll kind of go by our stadium and go rest up and continue our preparation at the hotel and be ready to go. I think we got a 3 o'clock start, so an afternoon there change for us. We'll be playing some night games.
All right. Well, Coach, I don't see any other questions coming in for you, so we'll let you go. But thanks for joining us, and good luck at Indiana State.
All right. Wish everybody else success for this weekend, too, from the Big South Conference.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Liberty once again at Indiana State, 3 p.m. Game will be available on the Liberty Flame Sports Network, which is being picked up by both Big South Network and ESPN3. So you'll be able to watch this contest.